Sho, which literally means first foundation, is the first Sho Kobudo kata. It is the introduction to the idea of a kata, a form in the Sho Kobudo style of martial arts. You will practice the techniques and certain skills that you have learned so far. For example, wide forward stances, C-stepping, focus, shoulder rotation, and looking at your opponent's diaphragm. The kata is structured like a capital I, with your starting point being where the bottom of the I would be. Pay great attention while learning this kata. In its true meaning, it is the first foundation to your training in Sho Kobudo, and your future learning will refer back to it. Every kata starts with a kata bow. All the kata bows of the Sho Kobudo style are based on the kata bow of Dodai Sho. You will come to Kyosuke as if you were bowing for class, then prepare with your right fist by your ear, your left knife hand coming out, hand vertical to the floor. You strike with your two primary knuckles into the center of your palm. Bow out. Hands extending straight outward and you looking over the back of your hand. Your back should be straight. You come back up to the initial position. Cross your hands and make fists right in front of left. And you come back to yoi with your left foot, hands crossing to snap downward. Now, since that's kind of difficult, let's look at it from a different angle, from the side here. Note how when you prepare, your fist is facing in such a way that the palm is pointing outward. And now when you strike, you can see the arm positioning, bowing out with your back straight, looking over the backs of your hands, and coming back to yoi. Now the mode of action in any kata is that you first look where you're going, then you prepare, and then you block. In this kata, the first thing we'll do is go left with a left downward block into a left forward stance. You look left at your opponent's diaphragm, which is called a focus point. Then prepare for a left downward block inside with your left hand preparing, and step into a left forward stance, executing the left downward block. Now you'll step forward into a right forward stance without changing head level, bend your knees therefore, and throw a four-fist punch to the diaphragm. Important here, C-stepping and no hook punching. Now you're going to reverse direction. Look over your right shoulder, look first. Then prepare right hand inside, step 180 degrees the opposite direction. Here, it helps to rotate on your heel. Now you do the next downward block, and C-step into a left forward stance and target the opponent's diaphragm with a four-fist punch. That's the first bit of the kata done. The next segment is coming forward. You look, prepare, downward block to a forward stance again. Getting used to this yet? Now, you'll do 3, not 1 punch. Make sure on these four-fist punches you C-step without changing head level. In real fight this is important, as later, as changing your head level telegraphs your attack. Make sure you bring your shoulders back while stepping through to your Kyosuke position and come back forward with shoulder rotation. And the last punch is a kiai. Still targeting the diaphragm, hitting with the primary knuckles. Now, here stepping gets a little more challenging, as you will downward block into a left forward stance, spinning to your left. That means you have to spin 270 degrees. So once more, you have to transfer your weight onto your heel in order to get a fast balance spin. But prepare first, then spin. Look for your opponent first, and prepare for your downward block. Push up with the left foot, get hands close to your body, and you come to your forward stance and block low. Try to focus your block, and you spin at the same time. Now again, you C-step to right forward stance and four-fist punch, once more to the diaphragm. You repeat the segment in the opposite direction. Look over your right shoulder, prepare for a downward block with the right hand. Now into left forward stance and four-fist punch. And that completes these segments. Now you've made it halfway through the kata. Now you'll come backward with the same segment with which you came forward. You look, prepare, and downward block to forward stance. Now 3 punches. C-step without changing head level and bend your knees. Shoulder rotation and focus are important. Watch not to hook, as you can see on the close-up here. And all punches target the diaphragm, as usual with the primary knuckles, like a good punch. You will spin 270 degrees in the same manner that you spun before. You'll look right, going to spin in left forward stance, and prepare for a downward block, do the downward block, and make sure you spin wide enough into a forward stance, and you block, and step forward into a right forward stance with a 4-fist punch to the diaphragm. Now again, downward block in the opposite direction by transferring your weight on your heel and spinning around, blocking, and throw a left 4-fist punch which finishes the kata. Now, in a kata, always the last foot that moved comes back to yoi. You'll face back forward, retracting both fists as if you were going to punch, and go back to your yoi position with your feet turned in, knees slightly bent, ready to go anywhere. And you bow just in the same manner as you bowed before. Exactly the same bow. You always bow in the beginning and end of a kata. There's a famous Japanese saying which means karate begins and ends with courtesy. Keep in mind this bow, as already said, the future kata bows are based on it.